Hey, this is Don Walters coming to you from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Just wanted to do this video before I call it quits for the day. Listen, what I want to talk about is the problem with telling patients to refer other patients and you pay them if they refer someone in. It's become sort of a very problematic thing. I've got patients calling me up and asking me, hey, can you get me into such and such place because I couldn't get in there. If you get me in there, or I got a whole bunch of people I can send you, and if you find a study for them, and they're calling me, telling me that. These people have not a clue on what it takes to go knock on doors and interview people and so forth in order to get into these studies. But what the problem is that these clinical sites out there, you're telling these patients and any and all patients, hey, refer somebody to us and we'll pay you, thinking that you don't have to go out and hire somebody for community outreach or a recruitment or marketing person. And you're trying to avoid that. And it's a cheap way to do it, but it's creating an industry problem to the point where it's getting really nasty out there that every single patient thinks that they're a recruiter. They're actually out there calling themselves recruiters. But here's the problem. It's hurting you, and I'll tell you why. Is because these patients are coming to your site and other sites to see who they can meet and then refer them to somebody else. And they all start getting their little circle and start discussing who's paying how much money. And okay, well, if I refer you over here, then I'll give you a few dollars for going over there, and you can make more money than this site is paying. And that's what they're doing. It's become very nasty, and I think that you need to take a different approach, and also be careful about who you tell that if they refer someone in that they're going to make some money. I've got patients calling me up asking me if I can get them into different sites, and it's really gotten crazy out there. There are people out there referring to sites, and I tell you the other thing they're doing that you don't even realize. They'll refer you somebody and then wait for that patient to randomize. And once they randomize, they'll come up with a very smooth and legitimate reason for discharging, and then they'll refer them to somebody else and they can make money off of them. So within 2 weeks, they've made money off of 2 different sites. And then you lose because that patient doesn't complete the study. And so you got to be careful out there. And I know you're out there trying to do this so that you don't have to hire somebody for community outreach. You don't have to pay a salary or however you want to do it, or get out there and do it yourself. But you forget that there are people like myself that have gone out there and knocked on doors to develop this thing. We had to knock on doors, spend hours, and I'm not talking about an 8-hour job. It was like a 16, 17-hour job sometimes. I'd leave at 6:30 in the morning. I wouldn't get home until 10 o'clock at night because I'm interviewing doctors, administrators, doing presentations to patients to develop that whole network so that we had people that understood what we were doing. And these are people that would be qualified people for these particular studies that we were running, so that they can come in and participate in these studies, and that we could get, again, quality people. But now it's become just just something really just nasty and bad, because you're just grabbing anybody and telling them to refer, and they're all doing it, and you think, oh, it's great, I'm making extra profit on what I'm doing, but it's all going to backfire on you. And because they're going to be taking patients away from you and sending them someplace else if you're not paying the most money. Anyway, this is Don Walters signing off from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Have a good night.